first, no one realized a crime had occurred. There were no alarms, no broken locks, no visible suspects. Instead, computer screens froze, systems failed, and bank balances quietly disappeared. By the time victims understood what was happening, the damage was already done, and the trail led not to a physical location but to lines of code. That trail repeatedly pointed to one name, Park Jin Hyok. According to U.S. prosecutors, Park Jin Hyok is allegedly a state-sponsored North Korean computer programmer connected to some of the most costly cyber intrusions in history. Authorities claim he was part of a wide-ranging criminal conspiracy that damaged computer systems worldwide and stole both traditional currency and virtual currency from numerous victims. These were not isolated incidents, but coordinated operations that spanned countries, industries, and financial systems. Investigators allege Park was linked to North Korea's Reconnaissance General Bureau, or RGB, the nation's primary intelligence agency. Within that structure, prosecutors say elite hacking units carried out sophisticated cyber operations. Private cybersecurity researchers later labeled these groups the Lazarus Group and Advanced Persistent Threat 38, or APD-38. According to investigators, these groups function like a digital task force, organized, disciplined, and driven by strategic objectives rather than random chaos. The alleged motivation behind these attacks raises unsettling questions. North Korea faces heavy international sanctions that restrict traditional sources of revenue. Cyber operations, however, require no borders, no physical movement, and offer plausible deniability. A skilled programmer can allegedly generate massive financial gains and disrupt global systems without ever leaving a desk. Prosecutors believe this is why cybercrime became a powerful tool for the regime and why individuals like Park were allegedly deployed. Authorities claim Park helped develop malicious code used in attacks on financial institutions, cryptocurrency platforms, and other high-value targets. Money allegedly moved through complex digital routes, disappearing into compromised systems and virtual wallets. By the time victims noticed, the funds were gone and nearly impossible to recover. But Park was not accused of acting alone. Prosecutors describe a conspiracy involving multiple hackers working in coordination. Some allegedly wrote code, others tested vulnerabilities, while separate actors focused on moving stolen assets. Together, investigators say, they formed a system designed to operate quietly, efficiently, and continuously across borders. Despite the scale of the alleged crimes, Park Jin Hyok has never been arrested. In June 2018, U.S. authorities filed a federal criminal complaint charging him with conspiracy to commit wire fraud and computer-related fraud. His name and alleged role became public, yet no arrest followed. Then, on December 8, 2020, a federal grand jury in the Central District of California issued a new indictment, charging Park with conspiracy to commit wire fraud and bank fraud, along with conspiracy to commit computer intrusions. A federal arrest warrant was issued once again. 2 warrants, multiple charges, still no custody. The most obvious explanation is geography. Park is believed to be in North Korea, a country with no extradition treaty with the United States. U.S. law enforcement has no authority to operate there. If Park never leaves, he may never face trial. But that explanation leaves deeper questions unanswered. Cybercrime at this level rarely functions in isolation. If money was stolen, it had to be moved and converted. If cryptocurrency was taken, it had to be laundered. If infrastructure was used, someone had to provide or maintain it. This raises a possibility, never fully resolved, of outside facilitators, whether business people, financial intermediaries, or systems that fail to detect or stop suspicious activity. There is no public evidence that FBI agents or public officials assisted Park. Still, unresolved cases are defined by gaps. Were there missed warnings? Delays caused by bureaucracy? Hesitation driven by political consequences? Given the suspect alleged ties to a hostile state? When crime intersects with geopolitics, justice often slows or stops altogether. Another troubling question lingers. Is Park Jin Hyok a single individual or a name representing a role? Cybersecurity experts warn that state-backed hacking groups often use interchangeable identities. One name can stand in for multiple operators. If Park vanished, Would the operation stop or simply continue under a different identity? That possibility challenges the meaning of accountability. Arrest warrants may signal intent, but they do not stop code from running. And then there is the present. Is Park Jin Hyok still active? Still writing code or training others? Some believe public exposure would have forced him underground. Others suspect it may have increased his value, proving the effectiveness of his alleged work. If he remained protected and useful, there is little incentive to stop. This is why the case remains unresolved. It breaks the traditional true crime pattern. There is evidence, but no arrest. Charges, but no courtroom. Victims, but no closure. The crime exists in digital space, where borders protect suspects and jurisdiction quickly fades. Park Jin Hyok represents a new kind of suspect in a new kind of crime, one where the most serious damage is done invisibly, and justice depends less on evidence than on international politics. So the case remains open, suspended in silence, waiting for a shift in power, a mistake, or an unexpected opening. Until then, the question remains unanswered. When the next major cyber attack occurs, will investigators once again trace it back to the same unseen network? And will this story finally reach an ending, or remain another unresolved chapter in the age of digital crime? If stories like this keep you questioning what's really happened behind closed doors, make sure you subscribe to the channel so you don't miss the next unresolved case. Watch till the end, because every detail matters, and sometimes the smallest clue changes everything. Drop your thoughts in the comments. Do you believe Park Jin Hyok is still active? Was this truly one man, or just one name hiding a much larger operation? Your perspective could shape the next investigation. And most importantly, come back for more unresolved true crime stories, where the truth isn't always clear, justice isn't always served, and the most dangerous mysteries are still unsolved.